Alright, today I'm going to show you how to change out your rear and your front rotors and brake pads on a 2007 Kia Spectra. So let's get into it. Alright, so everything you see here is pretty much what you're going to need. You're going to need some penetrating oil, some brake clean, wire brush to clear out the carbon buildup and dirt from your calipers, hooks to hang your calipers, some sandpaper to sand it down also, C-clamp, some lube, gloves, of course you need rotors, brake pads with brake hardware in them, jack stands, and you got Loctite over there and so forth, and of course you got a torque wrench, and if anything we got an impact drill and so forth. That's pretty much what you're gonna need. So let's go jack this car up. Alright, so we got our jack stands up in place, and we got our Spectra lifted up. Yep. So I don't know if you pre-loosened those boots, those bolts, but I already did. If you didn't, you gotta put them down and I'll loosen them again. Also, we're gonna pop open this reserve, not really open to let contaminants in. We're just kind of leaving it open because when we push back the piston for the caliper, the brake fluid will go back up. So yeah, now we're just gonna take out the tires. Alright, as you can see, this rotor has waves on it. It's pretty deep in waves, grooves and stuff. This is how you call this warped. This rotor is warped. So as you're going down the road and you're hitting the brakes, you tend to notice that your car kind of like whoops, 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 or like shakes because of your rotor being warped, okay? So that's why we're going to replace this, and also it's rusted. We're going to replace this as well as the brake pads. You always want to do it in pairs: rotors, brake pads, and brake pads. You don't want to just change out brake pads because it's going to be uneven wear because of the rotor. But yeah, and you don't want to use new rotors and old brake pads because, of course, common sense. You don't want to do that. So when you change out your brake pads, you're always going to want to change out your brake pads and your rotors. If you have the money, you might as well do it. It'll save you a lot of time and, you know, trouble from all that stuff along down the road. So yeah. Alright, so now we're gonna start by unbolting the caliper. These are the caliper guide pins. You can't really see them, and it's kind of hard place to get into with a wrench. So lucky for the front, you get to turn the wheel to help it kind of guide out and give you more access to those bolts. It's going to be two 14 millimeters that hold the caliper, and then it's going to be 17 millimeter that hold the caliper bracket. So yeah, we're going to go turn that wheel, and then we're going to break open these bolts. So now we got our caliper bolts unseized and opened up. Have your hook ready because we're going to open this. But what I like to do is always open the bottom first, so it opens up like a clamshell, and then kind of figure out the way we're gonna hang this. But we're gonna hang it up here. You don't want to tangle this line, okay? That's your brake line. You don't want to tangle that. So yeah, okay, just like that. And I hook it up here. All right, we got our brake line here. It's not tangled up, it's just regularly turned. And then now you can see we have easier access to reach our bracket to unloosen and remove. Alright, so this is our brake pad. They have the wear indicator here. This is one of the wear indicators. There's also screamers in the back for maybe that one. Yeah. So look at this one, it's worn in. This was about maybe like only 2 more centimeters left or whatever. Yeah, lucky we're gonna change it. This one, same deal, wear indicator. This is what makes that screeching sound, as well as this. This is the screamer or screecher, whatever. When your brake pad gets really low, you can see that it will start to rub on the metal, and that's what lets you know that it's time to change brake pads. Besides that, you can see also the rotor was warped. It has a lot of like waves, which causes the pulsation when I brake. So yeah, we're gonna remove this. Remember the brake hardware and so forth. You don't really need this because we got new brake hardware. Yeah, but we're gonna clean out the bracket and clean out the caliper. Okay. Alright, so while we're here, I want to teach you about the caliper guide pins. This is the one. There's the boot. It should move freely. You know, this should move like freely and so forth. If it doesn't, then you're gonna have to want to get in there and clean it out. So let me try. See. Alright, so this one's a little greased up, but we're gonna grease this one up a little more. Yeah. See all the carbon from the boot? That's all just from the boot, the dirt, and metal shaving carbon. Okay. This one's greased up as well. Also, I want to point out that some caliper guide pins have this rubber thing too. Sometimes it breaks off, and then people get a hard time to bring it back in. So be careful when you pull it out. If it does break off, I've heard and seen, and I am also doing it, where people don't use this rubber. They just put more grease there. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna go clean this bad boy out. Alright, so now that we cleaned our bracket, we're gonna go ahead and clean the caliper. Kind of really get this part clean because that's where the brake pads are getting held, and of course this. But don't break and don't scratch the seal. So yeah, we're just gonna dust it off kind of with a a wire brush, because all of that dirty brake dust and carbon and dirt and so forth, it's on it. We're gonna do that for the calipers on both sides. Hit it with some brake clean, and then yeah, we'll start taking out the rotors. We do this to ensure no sounds are gonna happen, you know. And then we're gonna lube it up with anti-seize and lube. Yeah, we're gonna do it on both sides. Again, watch out for the rubber seal boot thing. This piston does touch the other brake pad, so we're gonna also give that some lube. But yeah, what we're doing now is just we're giving our caliper and caliper bracket a good rub down and clean before we install brake pads and so forth. Yeah, gonna hit that with brake clean. Yeah, like I said, having a clean caliper helps out in the long run. For that, it helps you not get those squeaks and sounds. So yeah, just cleaning out the calipers, hit it with brake clean, hit it again with sandpaper and a wire brush. I know most auto shops, they don't do this here. When you get your brake change or caliper change or fucking your rotors change, I know that they don't really clean out your brakes. It's a lazy thing, but yeah, do that. Cleanliness matters. So now it's time to remove the rotor. Some of you will have 2 screws and so forth. Sometimes you'll have to hammer this and turn it or use pen training oil, but this one actually comes out pretty easy. I went ahead maybe like a week in advance, pen training oiled it, and yeah. Keep the screw, it's very important. We need it to kind of lock back our rotors. And yeah, if it doesn't come out freely like this, you can hammer it here. But this one comes out freely, so I don't have to show you that. You can watch that on my other video, and we can see our brake disc hub is kind of rusty. Lucky it didn't get rust welded on. So what we're gonna do is we're also gonna clean this out with brake clean and scrub it down. Alright, so we got our new rotor here, new brake pads right there. What I like to always do is compare the old to the new. You can see the old one has warped lines. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, that's what causes the pulsation when you drive. Your one's flat as shit, has some of course you can see here has brake indicators. It's running very thin compared to this material, super fat. Also has brake indicators. Yeah, what you're also going to want to do is compare this one because it has the screamer. So when you do that, make the screamer be on the same place, because you could easily get mistaken. You can see here where the piston goes around. What we're going to do with these brake pads as well as besides the rotor, so you can see where the caliper holds. We're going to have to put silicone anti-seize paste on these also. So wherever the metal to metal meets, that kind of can cause sounds. So yeah, we're gonna put some anti-seize there. This is also, when they do make it, they put oil, so we're gonna have to clean that down with brake clean, front and back, before installing that. All right, so we're just gonna hit it with brake clean, wipe it down with the tissue. Some people, what I know is they also like to paint this, because this will get rusted, the hat of the thing. As you can see, there is that oil. I'll hit it with the other side. Also, when we're putting the lube and anti-seize, I like to put it here as well as the brake hub. Yeah, you can see the dirt coming out. But yeah, you don't really need a lot. You just need to clean it down like that, and you should be good. Now let's go put this bad boy in. All right, so we're here. I got some little bit of anti-seize. I'm putting it on the brake hub just because I don't want it to get rust welded. And this one also helps to, when you're gonna replace your brake pad or brake rotors on the next fix, you don't have to hammer it. So yeah. As always, I do this symmetrical, asymmetrical, or what the hell ever you want to say, symmetrical, ambidextrous. I do it on the other side as well. So what I do here, I'll do on the next side. I'm putting the anti-seize on the thing. Remember, your hand has anti-seize. You don't want to put that on your rotor, so don't touch the rotor and the brake pad material. You're gonna put it on the brake pad and the backing only, but yeah. So yeah, we're gonna put it on this rotor. I put some in the inside of the hat area, and as you took it out, try to put it back the same place. Yeah, you can help yourself out, not give yourself a hard time by tightening it down with a bolt, and or if your car doesn't have that, use a bolt to screw it. But my Spectra has these screws. So yeah, we got that bad boy on. Now we're gonna install the bracket, and yeah. So what we're gonna do now is also put them on the caliper. See, this is the part where the brake pads will be stationed on, you know. So we're gonna put some anti-seize there too, just to help out when, yeah. Also the piston only on the face part. Don't put it all over the place. You don't want to contaminate your brake pad, your brake fluid. So yeah, we're just putting it there where the brake pads will be sitting on, so we won't have screeching sounds and so forth. The piston. Now we're gonna go put our bracket on, but before that, we're gonna have to put our hardware into our bracket. But we're gonna also use the, what's that called? The grease on these anti-seize, because those things really help out a lot, so you don't hear screeches and sounds when you do brake. And also it's a metal moves and so forth, and vibrations of the car from when you're driving and so forth. But yeah, we're gonna go put some anti-seize on these, and also the brake pad ears, the backing of the brake pad, and yeah. So now we're gonna go install our bracket, but before that, those 17mm screws, since they're gonna get torqued down the tightest on the bracket, and the bracket's gonna be held on the knuckle, I have to put some thread lock. Okay, this is medium blue. Just give it like a little pea size, and like that, and then rub it all around. Of course, we should share it out with this one too. Yeah, so we're just gonna get it into the little thing, so you know, when we put it on, all those vibrations from your car, it won't get loose, and you won't be missing a caliper or a wheel down the road. So yeah. All right, we're gonna hand tighten to spec, and we'll do the torquing next. We got our torque wrench here. We're gonna hit it. This one is 70 foot-pounds. The back is 85 foot-pounds. But yeah, the bracket on the knuckle is the tightest. Well, yeah, we're just gonna hit it for 70 foot-pounds. It is. There we go. All right. All right. 70 foot-pounds on that one. 70 foot-pounds on that one. We're going to put back the caliper on the bracket. Remember, be careful. You don't want to tangle your lines. Also, how we're going to do this is we're going to push this bolt in first because we want it like a clamshell. So now that it's a clamshell, what you want to do is push back the piston. There are special tools for that. We're just going to use an old brake pad, and we're just going to get a C-clamp and tighten it down. Let's do that right now. Press the piston, nice and slow, guys. Hopefully that's compressed enough and that it can close. All right, so now that we got our caliper in and the bolts, we got the bracket in also tightened down. We're gonna tighten this caliper guide rod pins that they're gonna get tightened down from 15 to 23 foot-pounds. So let's hit it. All right, so we put on our tires. We already put on the new calipers, the new rotors, and so forth. We're gonna do the back, but yeah, as you can see, the reserve got really full. We're just gonna tighten that now again. We're gonna go inside. All right, so now we're in. You're not gonna have any brake pressure, so you're just gonna want to keep pumping it. You know, I do it for about until it turns hard. It's pretty hard right now. Start it up again. Should sink in. That should be good for the front. Now we're gonna do the back. All right, so we're gonna do the back. We're just gonna take our chocks and we're gonna put it in the front and we're gonna jack it up. You don't need to see that, but what you do gotta know is rear calipers on the Kia Spectra 2007, they usually have this special tool that you need to turn. I don't have that. I'm just gonna try to use a clamp and also pliers to kind of screw it in. Let's hope that works, and yeah, let's get to it. You don't need to see me jack it up. You're just gonna see me kind of do the same thing I did. Kind of probably like clean it out, clean the bracket, lube it up, lube up the pins, and clean out the rotor with brake clean. And yeah. All right, so now we got the tire off, we got it jacked up, we got our screw loose. What I want to tell you is the caliper bolt, guide pin bolts, and the bracket. They're both 14 millimeter. Yeah. Also, if you want, maybe a wrench might help you better. But yeah, so we got them loose. We're gonna take this out, clean that, and so forth. All right, so the back brake pads are smaller. This is super shit. It's fucking rusted. Yep. The worry that I have, or biggest problem that you're probably gonna have too, will be this to push it back. And yeah, we're just gonna clean it out because it's super rust welded on. We're gonna take this out, and yeah, you know the deal. We're just gonna rub it down, clean it off, and then put some grease, and then put it back. All right. Besides the difference of the front caliper, the back caliper got this thing that you gotta use a special tool to push it in. Also, they keep extra hardware here that you're gonna want to take out. Okay, so I can't really film it with two hands, but you're gonna want to take this out, the extra hardware that the caliper comes with, and then we're gonna rub it down again and clean up the bracket and the caliper, and then we're gonna put back all of the hardware. This is how the hardware should look on the caliper. This is the brand new ones. Of course, this one goes on the caliper, and the other two will go on the bracket. Yeah. All right, so that's how the back rotor looks like. Has a little bit of a hat. That's our old one. It has it's warped. It has those warped lines and super rust. But yeah, we're gonna spray this down, brake clean again, and then install it. And everything we did reversed. And then I'll teach you how to push back that. All right, so now we're gonna lube up the brackets and the hardware for the caliper. This is very important because it'll help your car from squealing, or you know, when you're braking, because it gives a lube. So we're just giving it some on where the metal to metal touches, and yeah. Okay, I don't think you need to see the rest, but this one we're gonna put it also on the caliper, because the back caliper is there. This thing helps out a lot from you getting those squeaks, and all those metal to metal rubbing is not gonna make any sound. Don't forget the ears, okay? The ears of it. Okay, and then the backing plate of this one. Okay, don't put it on the material, just on the backing plate. And then for this one, just again, that's where the caliper circle ring is gonna be, the piston, and you're just gonna put on the ears, okay? That's it. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna put this out there. We're gonna torque these down. The caliper is 16 to 28 foot-pounds, and then the back one, the one for the bracket, is 64 to 88 foot-pounds. Yeah. All right, so we got our hub and the rotor on. Now it's for the hardest part of this part. If you're a mechanic, of course, I'm not. I'm just doing DIY kind of stuff. I'm a beginner at this. You're going to need caliper key, caliper cube key. It's like a little thing, you put it in a socket and it pushes it in. If not, you're gonna use long nose pliers. It's the hardest thing in the world. You're gonna put it in, be careful, you might smash your hand and so forth. And you're gonna turn it with all your might, because you gotta slowly turn it clockwise for it to go in, but with pressure. That's the hardest part of this job. I don't know if I'll show you that, but that is my best advice for that one. If you don't have a caliper key, so go buy it, so you don't have to go have a hard time like me. Yeah. Again, let me stress that this is the hardest thing to do if you don't have a caliper key. Yeah. Also, be careful of the rubbers. You don't want to strip that. the O-ring seals. We just wanted to retract back so it can fit in place just like that. It's giving me a hard time. This keeps moving and closing on me. So we're just gonna do it like that. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yep. So it flushes to the point where we can close our caliper like that. And just gotta put the last 14mm bolt in and tighten down the specs. That gets tightened down to about 18 to 23 foot-pounds. Alright, so you saw me put it all on, you saw me retract back the caliper in the back. What we're gonna do now is a little more anti-seize on this rotor face, so when the tire goes on it doesn't like get rust welded on. And we're gonna hit it one more time with brake clean. We're gonna put on the tires and do it on the other side as well. You don't need to see that. You can hear me and you understand what I'm telling you to do. Just do that. That might be the hardest part, like I said. So yeah. Alright, so again, tighten your brake fluid reserve, tighten all of it down. And what we're gonna do next, again, is pump your brakes, you know, because you might not have any brake pressure, okay? So you're gonna wanna pump it until it turns hard, you know, nice, hard, and slow. All right, because you won't have brake pressure. So after that, so I'm still pumping it. So after that, we're going to try to bed it in, break in the rotors and break in the brake pads. What we're gonna do is hit it at 30 miles per hour and slow it down all the way to until it goes down to 5 miles per hour. We're gonna do that about 30 times. We're just gonna kind of push the brakes in, slow it down, you know. That's what we're gonna do. You don't wanna hit it and then really hard and make it do a complete stop. No, you're just gonna hit 30 and bring it down to 5 miles per hour. And then do that for like 30 times to break it in. You're gonna have a smell the next day and so forth until the rotors get broken in and the brake pads until they get hardened. They get hard and they figure out the right thickness that they're gonna be and hardness. Oh yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's all I want to tell you, and that's pretty much how to do this job. We did the front and the back rotor and brake pads for a 2007 Kia Spectra. I hope this video helped you. I hope you liked it, and if you don't, leave a comment below if you want to talk shit or questions about anything. I don't care how old this video is. I want to help people who have Kias and that are 2007 Kia Spectras or 2008 Kia Sportages. Look in the videos of mine. You might find other videos for Kias and Spectras, or Kias, Sportages, and Spectras. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and yeah, shout outs to you and for whoever is watching this. Peace out. Enjoy life. My name's Mark. Love y'all.